to our pre-match press conference to preview our game against Southampton. We'll start off with Vinny Fintcon.
Get a mouthful of tea, Vinny, that's better, yeah.
First of all, how are you feeling about Goodison's final ever Premier League game now?
Well, first and foremost is that I'm getting prepared for a game. That's what it would be really important for us to try and get another 3 points and keep trying to be as high up the league table as we possibly can. I think when we come in, the position we were in wasn't good, and I think we've got ourselves a lot stronger position now, and I want us to remain there. I want us to try and finish as high as we possibly can.
Have you been able to balance that with all the emotion surrounding this week? I know it's kind of outside the dressing room environment because it's coming from the fans, but at the same time, it obviously permeates into the dressing room as well, doesn't it?
Coming from the media as well, Vinny, got to say. There's been a lot of things getting asked from the media about Goodison, which there's a lot of people who are probably a lot wise and a bit more knowledgeable about Everton and also about Goodison than I am. But we've had a lot of talk about it just now, and it's great history. There's some great stories, and obviously there's been great managers and players who've all performed here. So I'm just the one who's going to shut the door on the way out. Certainly on the way out for the men. We're looking forward to the ladies joining us, but it'll be sad when it goes, but we're moving into something which we think will give us a bigger and better future.
How do you feel though about that responsibility as being the manager that effectively shuts the door on the men's team playing at Goodison?
Well, I'll tell you what, it might sound difficult, but it wasn't as difficult I think that was I going to keep Everton up or not. That was far bigger responsibility in a far bigger situation, or was I going to take the team into the new stadium in the Championship or in the Premier League? So that was something which I was concerned about. But we're seeing the end of Goodison now, and we're coming to the end, and I think all the Evertonians have been sort of waiting in this moment for a long time in some ways, because it was something everybody's been looking forward to, is the new stadium. So we're getting there. It'll be a sad day. I think it'll be an emotional day for a lot of people. I've got to keep the players focused in the game and try to do the best we can in the game.
The fact that it remains as an arena for the women's team, what does that say about the commitment of the club's owners now?
Well, I think it's something which is really good for the city in some ways as well, that Goodison's going to stay. I'm sure there'll be bits that will get tidied up in Goodison, and maybe the offices will keep working, and maybe the football in the community will still have a hub there. So hopefully there's a lot of good things coming from it staying. It certainly will be great for the ladies' teams playing there as well, and for other teams who come to play there. It's an iconic stadium, and it should be something that MD who comes to play there looks forward to.
Obviously off the pitch, Angus has come in now as chief exec, and I just wonder, have you been able to make any progress now as regards the contracts for those players that could possibly leave in the summer? And can we possibly expect any announcements before that final game?
Yeah, we may announce something before the final game. We're down the road with quite a few situations at the moment where there's quite a lot going on behind the scenes. We're just not quite there yet with announcement, but we're not too far away.
I take it you can't give us any hints.
No, and I think it would be wrong, because I always say that I'd like to make sure that the players are all aware of situations, and there's some other situations. We've got an awful lot of players on loan. We've got a lot of players coming out of contract. We've got a big turnover of players. All those things come into our decision making, and so there's one or two difficult things we have to decide on, and we're just getting along to doing that now.
Irrespective of his own contract situation, I think it would be nice if Sheamus Coleman was leading the team out as captain of the week. I'm not trying to pick the team for you, David, obviously, but I mean, how much does that come into your thinking as well, because of your long association with Seamus himself as well?
Yeah, it does come into my thinking. But what I will say, and I say it, Saturdays or Sunday, I should say, Sunday's a game where we're going to do everything we can and make sure we prepare the best and play the best we can. But Seamus will stay next season, without doubt. Seamus will be part of the group. I need him here. His leadership, his sort of message he has amongst the players and in the dressing room so strong. It'd be wrong of me to let him go. So one way or the other, Seamus will be here certainly next season.
How do you look back at that value that you paid for him all those years ago?
Yeah, overpaid about 60 grand I think at the time, but it was a great money spent. And look, Seamus is actually a little bit more than being a player here. He's going into a position where he's helped the club through some of the most difficult periods, but he's never been to another club. We put him out on loan to Blackpool when he first came in, and apart from that, he's been here and played the games.
You put him in the bracket as like a modern day legend of the club?
Well, I think so. I mean, legends are normally the ones who win FA Cups and, you know, are involved in league titles and stuff like that, but I think there's other reasons for Seamus. More importantly, his professionalism, but as a human being. But I think he's also in some ways carried Everton a little bit through the difficult period, and I know he's certainly done it in the dressing room.
Just a couple of things to check. Jake, is he fit for the weekend?
Jake's fit and available, yes.
And finally from me, I know it's not about sentiment necessarily, it is about getting 3 points, but at the same time, when that final whistle goes, what would be the most sentimental aspect for you personally?
For me, maybe fulfilling a dream to come back, never expecting it to be, you know, at this time. You know, I didn't see it coming. Thought I'd be probably sitting in the stand watching the game with many other great players and people who are coming to the game. So honoured to be the one who's sort of, as I said before, shutting the back door on the way out, but also looking forward to opening the front door of the new building next season as well.
Get the coach greet as well. I think you'll enjoy that.
Yeah, good.
Thanks, David.
Cheers.
Thanks, Vinny. We'll move on to Premier League predictions.
Just
Up.
moving on from that, David,
Yeah.
as sentimental as it will be for a lot of Everton fans to be leaving Goodison, is it exciting for you and for everybody involved as well to be moving into the new ground and an iconic place that is going to be a real beacon, if you like, for what is a bright future for the club?
Yeah, I think we're all looking forward to it because it's been something which we've been waiting on for a long time. Certainly all the Everton supporters for many years have been hoping this day might come. Maybe not the day of leaving Goodison, but certainly the day where we move into a new stadium, and it's now very close, so we're excited by it. We hope that it can be something which in another 100 years time we're all saying it's a great home and a place we really enjoy playing.
And Southampton obviously would love to try and spoil the party. Presumably you'll be giving them all the due respect that they deserve.
Absolutely. I mean, as what I'm saying is there's an awful lot of talk about Goodison, which I completely understand, and it deserves every bit of it. But there's also the part of it which, you know, we've got ourselves 42 points now. You know, we need to see if we can win the last two games and get ourselves as high up as we possibly can.
Thanks, Fraser. We'll move on to Julia from Radio Merseyside.
Hiya.
Hi, Julie.
Just wondering if have you got an eye on this mini league that you seem to be in? Because a lot of people say, well, there's not really much on this game, but for you, you're currently above Wolves, West Ham, Man United, and Tottenham. So, given where you picked up Everton, to finish above the likes of those, would that be some achievement?
Well, if you'd said that to me when I first came in, I'd have said, well, I can't see that happening. But I'll have to say Wolves have done amazingly well because, you know, they were right at the bottom as well at the time. But for us to sort of keep a hold of the likes of Tottenham and Manchester United, and I know that both those sides have had probably in their eyes disappointing seasons, but we've had a disappointing season as well, so we want to finish it as high as we can, and if we can finish above them. When you look back years time, you only look at the league tables, you'll not remember too much, you'll not remember, you know, what happened, how the managers changed or whatever happened. You'll just look at the league tables, and you do it now. You look back at seasons I've been here and you think, oh, we finished 8th that year, we finished 9th, and it's nice. It'll be much better saying that we finished 13th than it would be 17th. So my aim is to try and do that if I can.
And obviously, you know, you are busy with the contract situation and trying to get everything done and tied up. Do you have an idea of when you would like, particularly players that are out of contract here, that to be sorted out? Because if that drags on, are you worried they might be talking to other people?
No, I'm not particularly worried. No, we can only do things at our time. We know we've just got Angus in the door. We're trying to put things in place. We've been trying to keep the players behind the scenes as aware of the situation as we possibly can. We'll let some of them know probably before the end of this week, and there'll be others in different situations, but we feel as if we'll have to wait till next week. So it's a difficult situation when you've got so many of this number out, and say I think we'll get 5 players in loan in total, which is the most in the Premier League. So there's different situations for those boys as well, and we have players out of contract, as you well know, and we will get to it, so it won't be too long.
Long days for you then. And how big a restructure then, or rebuild of Everton is this? I'm thinking that, to your previous tenure here, is it a similar situation, or is this a bigger job to rebuild?
I think the situation's a situation you don't see very often. I'm not saying that there isn't 10 or 11 players out of contract at other clubs, but I think when it's the situation we're in, we've got 5 on loan. We don't own 5 of the players, so that's a different situation. We have to, at the moment we're giving those players back probably, unless we're going to buy them. So it's an unprecedented situation I see when I've come in, and now what I've got to do. Do I really want an huge overhaul? Probably not. I think it's too big a task to try and get it all done at once. But we'll try and do our best to get ourselves better, and hopefully a bit higher up the league if we can.
Finally from me, do you have a Goodison Park highlight yourself from your time with Everton?
Undoubtedly arrival the first time. The first day probably coming onto the pitch against Fulham was probably for me, because it was the start. It was the start of something which how long would it last? Would I be, like a lot of managers, 6 or 10 months in the job? But I had really good people who gave me the opportunity to be successful, or try to be successful. Let me get on with my job, didn't interfere, gave me everything they could. So I think arrival for the Fulham game was probably that moment. I think I remember more than anything, and I'm in some ways I'm looking forward to having a walk round Goodison after the game on Saturday. But what we mustn't forget, it isn't the last game of the season for us. Our players have another game to play. We have to go again the following week, so we'll enjoy it, but it's not over for us. We have to prepare the team for the following week.
Thank you, good luck.
Thanks, Julia. Well, yeah, go to Will.
Hi, David.
I will.
Right. Talk about Sheamus Coleman's experience, but Ashley Young played 90 minutes at Fulham. He turns 40 in July.
It's incredible.
How big's he been in the dressing room, and can you still see him playing on next season at this level?
I've got to say, Ash is an incredible fit. His professionalism has been brilliant. He's also been brilliant in the dressing room, which he is. So we'll make a decision with the same way all the rest of the players on Ash as well. But it's incredible that he's 40 years old in July. Amazing for him to be so fit and playing the games and ready to do so. And he trains amazingly well. Really does.
By the same token, I think you've maybe got the second or third highest average starting squad in the Premier League. Is that something?
Age-wise,
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that something you think you need to bring down, or I know you need a bit of experience going to the new stadium maybe?
I think ideally we'd like to bring it down if we can. But I think if you don't have experience, when you get maybe in the situation we're in, we probably need a little bit of experience to make sure that we're where we want to be next year. I'm not sure that we can go and be a great model right away and change everything round and suddenly turn all the players we've got into 20 and 21 year olds and expect to be a glittering success right away. So I think we'll need to make sure that we're sprinkled with experience, but obviously we will over time be looking to try and encourage to get more younger players.
Just finally for me, there's only been 4 home wins at Goodison in the league this season. During your first tenure, it really felt like you could beat anyone at home. So how do you get back to making Bramley-Moore Dock a real fortress? Because it has felt maybe at times you have been a little bit better away since you arrived.
Don't know if it's a great question today, just before we go into our last game at Goodison. I think Goodison's been a brilliant place for us, for everybody who's been here. Been great to get results, brilliant stadium to play in. So I'm certainly not looking at it with a negative sort of question there. You are? No. Okay.
Okay, any further questions in the open section before we move on? Nope, thank you.